Tech News Weekly is sponsored by Hover.com. Domain names made simple. Go to gfq.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. And by Stitcher Radio. Listen on the go via the Stitcher mobile app. For more information, go to stitcher.com/GFQ.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everybody to Tech News Weekly. This is a show where we cover everything that happened in tech. My name is Andrew Zarin. I'm your host for today, and we have a new lineup for today's show. I'll start off with someone that you guys are familiar with, has been on the show in the past. Chase from GeekGamer.tv. How you doing, Chase?
I'm good, Andrew. You finally got the name right the first time, and I gotta say, congratulations. I appreciate that very much.
I know. You've been on the show about 15 times, and I still have no idea where you broadcast from. And I've been on your show a couple of times, too, and I have no idea where you are.
That's right. We broadcast from the Yukon, and
Yes, yeah.
we got a great internet connection up here. So it's very
phenomenal.
cool.
Phenomenal
Yeah.
internet connection.
Thank you.
Our next guest, first time on the show, you may know him from the T4 show. Michael Manna is on the show with us. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing great. I am actually. I'm echoing a little bit. What did I do wrong here?
It should be settling down. Is it settling? Is it better? Okay.
It settled a little bit, I think. All right. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm actually on the fence. I'm trying to convince myself not to switch from this phone to a Nokia Lumia. See, I have trouble pronouncing words too. The new Nokia phone, the Windows phone. So maybe by the end of the show, someone can convince me one way or the other whether I'm going to do that or not.
I actually AT&T sent me one of these. Let me see if I could put it up on the screen. I got the Galaxy Note AT&T sent me to review.
Oh,
and
nice.
At first, I didn't think I would like this phone because it's huge. I mean, it's a huge screen on this. Comparing it to let me compare it to the Nexus Galaxy. I mean, look how small it looks. But it is a great phone. I mean, it's a phenomenal phone. So I'm going to be doing a review of this, but I really like it.
So Andrew, when you hold it up to your head, does it seem like
It looks
this?
silly.
I mean, I don't know if your viewers can see the size of the Note. I mean, it looks really nice and all. It's got a great screen, but man, it's a little big.
It's a little big, the Note.
Just a little big.
I mean, does this look ridiculous to you guys if I'm holding a phone like this? I mean, it's a pretty big thing.
Well, with phones like that, it would probably prevent the rumored brain cancer from all the radiation because you'll never put that thing up to your ear.
Yeah.
That's what that said.
It's a pretty good phone, so I'm going to be doing a review of this. So this is a new one. The Lumia, I should be getting my hands on it next week. AT&T should be sending me one next week. But you're on an iPhone currently, Michael?
Yeah, iPhone 4S. The only thing that makes me, I am really ready to try something new as far as an operating system, but I've heard so many bad reviews, and I've seen sample pictures, even at full resolution of the camera, and it's really, they need to get the software together. There seems to be some kind of software problem with the Nokia 800 as well, so I hope they do that, because nothing compares to the 4S anyway, but if I can get close enough, it may warrant me to take the jump until the iPhone 5 comes out.
When the Galaxy Nexus came out, they were saying how the camera, it's like zero delay in the shutter, and the camera's awful on this thing. I mean, my wife has the 4S, and it's a phenomenal camera. Comparing it to this, it's not so good. So I'm curious to see what the camera's going to be like on the 900.
Yeah,
have you?
see what you think too?
What are you using now, Chase? What kind of phone are you using?
I'm using a 4S right now as well. Great optics. It's very snappy. The one thing about the Nokia is it's probably the best Windows phone out there right now. I had a chance to mess around with Windows Phone pre-Nokia, and it's a great operating system. The thing is, it depends where you're at right now. If you have a load of apps and you're really invested in the Apple ecosystem, it's really hard to step away to something else because obviously you can't bring all that stuff over with you. But really, it's about where you're at. If you're something new and you're starting fresh, it's a great alternative, I think. Better than Android in some respects.
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as the overall package of the iPhone, I still consider it to be the top phone, but they're catching up. I mean, Microsoft is doing a great job with it, and I think Android is almost there. They still have to fix some of the issues that they have with the bugginess of the operating system, but they're getting there. I mean, it's the 4th version of the operating system, so hopefully by the next one, they'll kind of get their act together. But I do want to go into the first story of the day, which I have a lot to say on this, and I'm sure Michael and Chase do also. But I do want to let you guys know you could, if you're in our chat room at gfqlive.tv, you could change your nickname, because I see a lot of people in there with the GFQ username. If you click on menu and change nickname, you could change your nickname. Also, be sure to follow Michael on Twitter at Michael Manna, and Chase at Nunes, Nunes on Twitter. I am Andrew Zarian on Twitter as well. First story of the day. This is something that's been going on for a while. We've been talking about it for a while, and Time Warner and Verizon are starting to sell bundles for each other now. A couple months ago, Verizon, AT&T, and I believe Comcast did a agreement where they're not going to kind of compete with each other anymore, and they're going to offer bundles for the other one's service. It's starting out that people are doing this. They're also giving you incentives where if you sign up for the other one's service, you get a $200 prepaid gift card. This is killing competition, in my opinion. In New York City, we were stuck with Time Warner for the longest time as far as high-speed broadband. Of course, you could get DSL, but it is nothing compared to what you could get with cable. Fios comes along, really gets competitive in Long Island and New York City, and now they have this agreement where they are no longer deploying Fios, and if you go to Verizon, they're going to recommend Comcast or Time Warner Cable. I guess I'll start with Michael since he's new to the show. Michael, what do you think of this? What is it like in your area right now? Do you have options, or are you stuck with one person?
The one option we don't have, we have Uverse, which I have right now, and also Comcast. But the one that I was spoiled by when I lived in Tampa was Fios. I had the 25-25 package with no data caps, and I really tested that rule with Fios. Fios is above everything is my favorite internet service, and I think it's worth every dime to have Verizon Fios, especially packaged with the TV. It makes it very affordable. I don't know where all this comes into. The mythical net neutrality seems to be ever changing and ever complex. This has to be something that needs to be looked into, because now it's like, hey, we're all teaming up against the customer.
Yeah, and they did this a couple of years ago where I remember in order to compete for Verizon to compete with the cable company, they were bundling up with the satellite companies to offer you TV so you don't go to the cable companies. But this is very anti-competitive, and you really don't have an option. Chase, I know you have Frontier, which is a fiber network, much like Fios. Do you have another option as far as service?
Well, the lines that were installed, it was Verizon, and then Verizon decided, they wanted to get out of copper, and part of that deal was in Western 13 states, they had to sell it all off, and they sold it to Frontier. Here, the only other alternatives I could do for high-speed internet is Comcast, and then there's also Clear, which is a kind of a 4G base station solution, not really practical for web streaming and that sort of thing, but at least you'd get high-speed internet, and there's also satellite. So there's a few competitors out here. I mean, the one thing here with Time Warner and Verizon is this is just a matter of an agreement per se on mobile telephone, so cell phone service with your cable service.
Yeah.
This kind of thing has been happening for a while, at least with, like you said, say satellite and home phone. This is just kind of maybe the next generation of that. Obviously, everyone's trying to protect their interests here, and I think Time Warner's like, well, we can't put out a cell phone service, but we know a lot of people have cell phone service. Maybe we can set up a package deal with Verizon. Verizon's been doing this for a long time. I mean, Verizon's done it with DirecTV. I don't see why that's any different now that they're hooking up with a cable company.
I think the problem is when it comes to this is that Fios was actually, it was the answer for many people. I have it here at the studio. We have two Fios lines coming in. We have a 45 by 45, which is actually 50 by 50, and we have a 35 by 25 Fios line. So I would not be able to do what I'm doing with Time Warner Cable. The same pricing as far as a package goes, when you're looking at the same price, you're looking at with Time Warner, I want to say maybe 20 by 5, and that's a big leap.
So what's the big deal here, though? I mean, seriously, if so what? There's Time Warner. It's not like you have to use Verizon cell phone service. This is a cell phone service with cable bundle.
Yes, but it also means they are no longer going to deploy Verizon Fios in those areas.
Well,
Yeah,
Verizon's
it gives everybody, it gives nobody incentive to. Everybody's going to just rest on their laurels. It looks like nobody has to really be driven to do anything better to expand their network. Imagine if you know, you wanted to get AT&T mobile service and T-Mobile ran in that area, and AT&T went, oh, we'll just tell them to go to T-Mobile because they live in the rural part of Pennsylvania. So we don't have to build our network up. We don't have to build our LTE or our 4G or whatever we want. We can just kind of sit the way we are, and we can actually raise prices, and we don't have to invest in our infrastructure. That's where it can potentially go to if nobody steps in and say, hey, we're going to expand our service to this. We're going to do this. We're going to compete with these people. It really creates a really sort of laissez-faire attitude with these companies.
I mean, the cable industry ran like that for many years. You know, if there was Comcast in the area, you really couldn't go get Time Warner. It was one or the other. You either had it or you didn't have it. Here in New York City, it was Time Warner for the longest time, and I think there's certain parts of the Bronx, which is weird, that Time Warner is not in, and it's only Cablevision. So you don't have an option. That's how it was for the longest time, and that's how it's going to continue being. Unless something changes, which I really don't think anything's going to change. This is awful for competition. This is awful for the consumer, and it's just going to keep getting worse. Our next story, I think all three of us would be affected by this. It's a good thing and a bad thing for some. YouTube has open partnership programs to everybody. So if you have a YouTube account, you can now get a partner account. This is the next step in order to move everybody to the live streaming platform that YouTube will be rolling out to the mainstream very, very soon. Michael, did your account turn into a partnership, or were you a partner before this?
I was a partner before that. You had to have, I think, 100 videos, and you had to have so many views and subscribers in the past. I wasn't sure of the exact requirements, but I met those. And I've been a partner for maybe going on anywhere from 2 to 3 years now. So I don't know. I guess we're going to get more flip cam videos of people's dogs, you know, taking craps on the lawn now and getting 100,000 views.
Sure, and then monetizing on top of that.
Now they're going to monetize it too and make more money than all three of us put together.
I'm gonna tell you guys my story. I know Chase has a rant to go on, but I'm gonna tell you what happened with us. We were a partner, and we have all the perks of a partner currently. They didn't take that away, but we never monetized our videos because we knew that we had ads on our videos and it would be against their terms of service. So when we signed up, we never put the videos on our we never put the ads on our videos. A couple, maybe like 2 years go by, I get an email from Google saying we are in violation of their partnership agreement for invalid clicks. That's what it was. And invalid clicks on ads. Well, how could I have an invalid click on an ad if I never put an ad on a video? And I wrote to them, I appealed it, and they said, nope, sorry, we're not going to look into this. Well, but no, this has to be a mistake. There were no ads on my video, so how could I have an invalid ad, nor have I ever clicked on an ad? Nope, sorry, no partnership for you. It seems like they do this every now and then with certain people's accounts. I'm just curious on why it happens and how they could say, invalid clicks, and then there's zero appeal process after that. It's really... you're shit out of luck, really, when it comes to this. Chase, I know you have a rant to go on when it comes to them.
Oh, I'm so biting my tongue right now to keep you a PG right now.
Oh, that's fine.
No, I know. A lot of people don't see me cuss, and I was pretty livid the other day. So for the past year, I've been really trying to build up my brand, build up what I do, put out some great videos, nice content for people out there. And so I've been applying to become a YouTube partner. And I have just over 500 subscribers. I have over 3 million video views. So, I do have a concentrated yet active audience. And so I've been applying, and you can only apply once every 2 months. Yeah. So I've been applying for the past year. And so, again, my time came up for me to go ahead and fill out the application and apply. And so I went ahead and I applied about a week ago. And then yesterday morning, I received an email saying, congratulations, you've been accepted to the YouTube Partnership Program. And I was just like, finally, yes. I mean, I was so excited. I was like, finally, I can go ahead and start customizing my channel, put custom thumbnails on my videos. I mean, I was ecstatic. And then I go and find out and and I was like, wait, where's my partnership features that I'm supposed to have?
Yeah.
And I start looking and it comes to find out that every single person in the world, it seems like, was approved to be a partner under the partnership program. And, Google, YouTube, Google, they came out and said, quote, we are working on making these features, the thumbnail features and other features available to more newly made partners over time. So really, there's nothing special about being a partner anymore.
No.
I've been monetizing my videos for about a year.
But if you're Google, I mean, it's a smart thing to do. Let everybody put ads on their video. Most people are not going to make any money from it. This opens up the ability to put an ad on everything that they're doing. They'll make money, more money than they're making now.
You don't need to call them a partner. See, I mean, I've been able to monetize my videos for the past year. Okay, a lot of people have been able to do that for the past year, and they're not partners.
Michael, do you put the Google ads on your video?
Yeah, I do. We've considered a T4 show. Because Google seems to have, we have the same opening with the same royalty-free music, but every 10th, 15th video, Google somehow says, hey, this song is owned by somebody, and they just do this algorithm that's completely confusing, and they'll pull videos or do whatever. And I know now they have the 3 strikes rule, so might be 3 strikes away from getting off of YouTube anyway. We've considered, and I don't know if you guys have considered going this route, we've considered, putting Google banner ads or ads on T4Show.com, but then using Vimeo Plus to have, all the videos embedded on T4Show.com. That way it's a centralized hub to get all the blog posts, the reviews, the videos, the podcast, everything. And then we can just kind of wipe our hands of YouTube and say we're done with whatever kind of confusing
what we do
stuff
here. What we do, we actually use Blip TV, and we monetize with Blip because Blip puts ads and they actually pay out. So you could do it with Blip. You're not going to get the exposure that you do, on YouTube. But if you have a tapped-in audience, you could, make a couple bucks from that per video, which is
we're going to probably go to Twitch.tv and do a lot of game streaming. We talked to them about that, so that's just a spinoff of Justin TV. But Twitch TV has the same deal as far as I know. If you're one of their pro users.
But this is a fascinating thing that they're doing. This is their, I guess, next leap into opening up the live account to everybody.
I still don't think so. Right now, I mean, the way that live is, only a really handful of select people have that feature. They're grandfathered in, old classic partners, if you will. I mean, I don't know what their criteria is for live. I mean, not every YouTube partner has access to live.
I thought they do. I thought no.
No,
Okay.
no, not every classic partner has access to live.
I know not-for-profits have access to it currently.
Right,
and
right.
I guess then
they're in a whole
partners.
separate umbrella.
We've done a show live on Google Live. We've done it on YouTube Live, and it's okay. I mean, it's not the greatest thing. I think Ustream, Stickam, Justin TV have a much better infrastructure currently than what they have implemented. But they are the kings of web, I guess, content, video content. So I'm sure they could do it if they wanted to. But
one last thing I wanted to add, Andrew,
Sure.
and that's kind of to go what Michael was saying about putting the videos over on Vimeo. We used to do that. The only problem is, obviously when we do what we do, is all about exposure and getting views and having people watch your content. Unfortunately, Vimeo doesn't have a huge community per se, not as huge as YouTube. YouTube is on everything. It's on your phone, it's on your Boxy Box, it's on your Roku, it's on the Xbox 360, and people are able to access and watch those videos quite easily. And so you can really build a community that way and plug into that. The other drawbacks with Vimeo, while I do love their players and it's very customizable, is even if you have a paid account, you're typically capped, I think, at 5 gigs of uploads per week, and that's with their pay account. Right now, there's no current restriction on YouTube stuff. So that's one of the unfortunate things.
Next story, Intel launching new chipsets. Rumors are that this means a new MacBook Pro. It was reported earlier this week that authorized Apple resellers are suffering from low 15-inch MacBook Pro stock, which suggests Apple slowly phasing out the current MacBook Pros for the new redesigned MacBook Pro. I believe the rumors are that it's going to be a Air type MacBook Pro. They're just moving up the Air name to the MacBook Pro now. Thinner, lighter, probably going to have an SSD. If not an SSD, it'll probably have a very thin Western Digital hard drive, standard hard drive. Do you guys think that they're going to go to the Air body frame, I guess, styling that we currently have for the MacBook Pros? I'll go with Michael first.
Well, I have a 2010 MacBook Pro. I have a 15-inch, and the drive died, and I ended up going with an OptiBay and getting a 256 gig SSD and also a 750 gig 7200 RPM drive, and also upgraded the memory to 8 gigs of RAM. And the reason why I say this is because when you go to that Air style, and I've been tempted by the Air. It's a great form factor. It's a very light laptop, but I am really tempted all the time to have something with the option to upgrade and make better and make faster and grow with me as I use it. So I don't know if a lot of people, if they're going to give an option, that'd be great, but I don't know if they go to that. Will people be able to upgrade it? And if not, then what's that mean?
I mean, probably not. See, this is the thing about Apple, right? Apple does not want you to upgrade. They don't want you to open it up. They want you to order whatever you order, and that's what you stick with until it's time to buy a new one. So to me, this would kind of fall into place with what Apple wants you to do. But I feel the same way, Michael. I want to be able to upgrade these.
So the iOSification, I'm bad with pronouncing stuff, because basically they're taking that with the MacBook Air, the iPhone and the iPad stance of having the internal, storage and not be accessible. I mean, that's really the way they're going with hardware as well as software.
No, absolutely. You're 100%. Chase, you are mostly a Windows user. Do you feel that they would... in my opinion, I think they want to unify everything that they're doing, and this is a logical step. If you look at the MacBook Pro and you look at the Air and you look at the iPad, I think the iPad and the Air are more in common than the MacBook Pro. So the MacBook Pro would have to kind of evolve into this form factor.
Maybe. It's one of those situations where, a lot of people forget about the MacBook line. Isn't that the acrylic versions of the MacBook Pros?
They killed them, though. They're done.
Yeah. So obviously, I don't know if there's really needs to be a step between an entry-level light ultra notebook and then a kind of a powerhouse notebook that the MacBook Pro is. If anybody can do it, Apple can do it, and that's if they can pack that kind of power into that form factor that the MacBook Airs are. I just don't see that happening. A lot of people love to do their video and photo processing on a MacBook Pro just because that power's behind it. They have all these accessible ports on the side of it, obviously.
But Chase, they're putting an i7 in the MacBook Pros now.
True, but the thing is memory going to be user upgradable?
I'm sorry, the MacBook Air.
Hard drive is going to be user upgradable.
I mean the MacBook Air. I think you understood what I meant. But
yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah. i7 is going to be Ivy Bridge, obviously. The first line of laptops, it's going to probably cost us $2,500. No, I'm kidding. It's going to be expensive, and then you're going to have all these manufacturers that are going to try to rip them off on the PC side of it. I don't know. I know, Michael, you have a MacBook Pro, right? And do you need a thinner, lighter MacBook Pro, or do you feel like you would be losing some of those Pro features on something like that if Apple get them out and call?
We used Combs 13-inch MacBook Air at PAX East to edit video and do a lot of stuff, and I did notice the difference, especially the SSD read speeds are much different than the write speeds. And when I use my MacBook Pro, even though it's not a desktop i7, because that's what the 2011s have, 2010s I think is like a dual core i7 or just a mobile i7, it's still pretty fast. Having an SSD, 8 gigs of RAM, and a very fast hard drive all together in that package really do lengthen the life of the MacBook Pro. And that's what I'm saying. They may want you to swap it out and do whatever, Andrew, but still in some ways, these Macs really do last a very, very long time, and I think there's a value in that as well.
No, you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people overlook and people look at it as a premium. Why are you paying so much? But I am new to the whole Apple thing. I got my first MacBook in 2008. I just got married, so yeah, 08. I better remember what year I got married. So I got in 08, and I was new to the whole thing, and it was an entry level, just a regular MacBook. That died a couple months ago, almost a year now. Wow. and I got the MacBook Pro, and I absolutely love it. It's a workhorse. It's an i7 inside, but I do have the option to upgrade the memory if I need to, and I do have the option to swap out the hard drive if I want to.
Yeah.
The odds are you are not going to be able to do that with the redesigned MacBook Pro. But I don't know. I have this gut feeling this is what they're going to announce.
Well, don't they at least on the MacBook Airs, it's all integrated video, right? They don't have an external, or not external, but you know what I mean, like a separate chip that handles the video. It's all integrated on the same, I thought.
On which one?
On like the existing MacBook Airs.
No, it's integrated. Yeah.
Right. So, one of the great benefits of a MacBook Pro is you have onboard graphics like NVIDIA or AMD. Like I said, I haven't been too familiar lately. I'll come out of the gate and admit that to everybody. But that's one of the things that I don't know if they would be able to do in that kind of a form factor. Go, okay, we're going to have NVIDIA, we're going to have a 680M platform, or we're going to have an AMD platform graphics on this MacBook Air size platform. Wow, that would be pretty impressive if they can do that. I know a lot of people like to game on their MacBook Pros. I know a lot of Steam gamers that love to be able to do that, and if they can't do that or have that power behind it, I know like Final Cut X is graphics GPU hooked in as well. You know what? There's only so much you can fit in that kind of a form factor.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I do want to move on to the next story. We have a story about RIM. This was very interesting. We like to beat up on RIM on the show a little bit, but I found the story very interesting, and it might have been a very interesting idea that they had that could have saved the company in some sort of way. But I do want to talk about our sponsor, Hover.com. Domain names made simple. They sponsor Tech News Weekly and every other show here on the GFQ Network. Simply the best domain registrar out there. If you go to gfq.hover.com, you get 10% off your entire purchase, or you could use promo code GFQ upon checkout. They make the whole process of buying a domain name extremely easy for you. You go to the website, you click on it. There's no upselling. There's no hidden costs. Private registrations included. You're not going to, check out with a $30 domain name. It's that one flat fee, and you're done. And if you want to upgrade and you want to buy more, it makes it extremely easy for you to buy the domain because everything is stored in there. You could store your credit card or you can't. But I could buy a domain name in under 15 seconds at this point because Hover makes it extremely easy. If you have any questions, you could call them up. There's zero hold time with Hover, so you will never be put on hold. There's always someone there to help you out. gfq.hover.com. You get 10% off your entire purchase. Thank you, Hover, for supporting the show. So RIM, the forgotten company, they've kind of fallen behind in this smartphone market. I think we could all agree on that. I believe their last revolutionary phone was the BlackBerry Storm. I believe that was the last one that was going to save the company, and everything else kind of blends in. But their co-CEO, the former co-CEO Jim Balsillie. Why can't I say it? I say it every week. He had a very interesting deal that he was going to offload a lot of the traffic that the carriers have for non-RIM smartphones to RIM's network for a fee. So they were going to lease out their network infrastructure to whatever carrier you're on. So in AT&T or Verizon or T-Mobile, they were going to offload a lot of the traffic. This was his revolutionary idea to kind of create more revenue for RIM. I think that would have been great for RIM, and they would have made a couple bucks. But you're forgetting that the consumer's not buying the phone. That is their problem. It's not that infrastructure costs are costing them money. It's not that they're selling phones, but they're not making money. They're just not selling phones. They've fallen so behind over the last couple of years with their innovation and what they're doing with the phone. I know this was going to hold them over for a couple of years, but I mean, we still don't have that BlackBerry phone that they've been talking about for a while. Is it over for them? I mean, this is one of the main things that caused them to kind of leave, and he left on bad terms now with them. Is this one of the nails in the coffin for RIM at this point? Chase, I'll go to you first on this.
It's honestly, I think we've talked about. Yeah, I know we've talked about it on the show before, and how RIM, while they were strong for a number of years, it's time, unless they come up with something revolutionary and completely redesign and come up with a handset, because they obviously still want to focus on hardware. They have this delusion that they're going to be able to fight iOS and Android. unless they come out with some nice, brand new, state-of-the-art hardware that brings in all the great aspects that BlackBerry does have, and there are some great aspects that BlackBerry does have, we're just looking at the beginning of the end here, really. It's sad, but it's true. I mean, even our company that I work for is going to be moving away from BlackBerry, and we're moving to iOS, and we're moving to iPhone.
Yeah.
And, we have a huge field force, a huge company, and we're making that switch because the features that we want to be able to provide for our employees going into the future, that's something that BlackBerry isn't being able to provide.
How about you, Michael? Are you a BlackBerry fan? Have you used BlackBerry in the past? What do you think if that's happening at that company?
Yeah, I've used BlackBerry in the past, but we're talking about the distant past. Yeah. And I think RIM's swan song began with co-CEOs. That whole deal right there, I don't know. That's just like trying to be different. And I'm just looking at some of the notes here. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, they would have at least played to their strengths by selling and leasing network space and network congestion, because their service does have up until recently almost a flawless uptime. I think they were boasting 5 or 7 nines, which is pretty good uptime for a server. And now it's just like all people care about is consumer-based stuff. And like Jay said, even the most kind of like backward corporations that had BlackBerry Enterprise Server, even people that are using BlackBerry Internet Server, just saying, I can get all that stuff on my iPhone. And now iMessage is kind of going to kill BlackBerry Messenger on top of that. So there's no real reason to use any RIM products.
Well, I think it was leaked today that BlackBerry Messenger was running on Android. So they might be looking to kind of take the Messenger service and offload it onto other platforms, which I think they should have done this a while ago. I mean, that would have been a great way to kind of have some sort of product in the hands of other people. But this is such a similar story to Palm. I mean, Palm was revolutionary for its time, and they were the number one smartphone manufacturer and handset manufacturer when it came to those type of devices, and they just fell so behind the times where there was no coming back. And the Palm Pre was a great device, in my opinion. I thought the operating system was good. I thought WebOS was a good operating system. I just feel that they came out 3 years too late. And this is what's going to happen with BlackBerry. They're going to release the BlackBerry 10 device, which, by the way, is supposed to come out this month originally, and they've delayed it again to, I think, the fourth quarter, after the next iPhone launch, after the next version of Android. I don't know if this company is going to survive another year at this point.
No, who cares anymore, honestly? I mean, that's the drawback. I mean, right now, you got major Fortune 500 companies that are saying, you know what? I'm giving up my BlackBerry. You know what? We're going to move to iOS. We're going to move to Android. We're going to let employees bring in their own phones and just link into our mail servers and that sort of thing. I mean, BlackBerry was at the top, and they felt when they were at the top years ago, and they're like, oh, well, we're fine. You know what? We're at the top. We don't have to make any changes. We don't have to innovate. People are going to want to keep that keyboard and simple text on the screen.
What happened with them was they stuck to this 10-year plan.
Yeah.
And I don't think they foresaw something like the iPhone in their 10-year plan. I think that was the big problem for them. But they stuck to it. So I give them credit. They're hard-headed, and they stuck to their plan.
And it's going to be the death of them, unfortunately.
Yeah. I want to talk about another company that's very successful currently, and that's Facebook. Facebook has purchased Instagram for a whopping $1 billion price tag. I don't know what they're going to do with this. I don't know in the next 5 years. They might look back, and this might be a flop in Facebook's category, that they spent $1 billion on crappy filters for your camera phone. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out why the $1 billion. Are you an Instagram user, Michael?
I was. I didn't stop using it because of this purchase, but I just kind of gave up. Like you said, it's kind of crappy filters, and there's other stuff out there like Snapseed. There's other photo editors that work really well. I'll tell you, they didn't buy photo filters, guys. They bought 50 to 60 million users.
Yeah.
They bought the potential of another 50 million users with Android, and possibly if it comes to Windows Phone or whatever other way they're going to do, we're the product. Yeah. Facebook's not the product. The people are the product.
But here's the thing.
Now they mine 60 million users.
Now I'm going to play devil's advocate with this. many of those 50 million users, they're not new users. Many of them are existing Facebook users. So I'm curious on how many of those users that they got are new to Facebook and don't use Facebook. Probably it's not going to be many of them. That's the interesting thing, that they tapped back into their own customer base.
Well, if you look at it, I mean, how far does the reach go? You know, you're talking about Instagram. They could as easily add geolocation to Instagram, which I haven't checked it lately. Maybe they have.
They do. They have it now.
Okay, now according to your location, maybe you visited and checked in with Foursquare or checked in with Facebook more specifically at the gym. So now Muscle Milk wants to sell their shake to you. So now an ad comes up on Facebook for Muscle Milk. I mean, it can go a whole bunch of different ways just from you taking that picture at the gym, buying a shake or buying something or working out.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Chase, are you an Instagram user?
You know, I've used it, but, you know, just like everything else on your phone, there's so many different apps for so many different things. I did use it at the beginning, and then I just kind of stopped. You know, this whole deal with Facebook buying Instagram, they're obviously buying it for the data. They're buying it for the photo sharing community of Instagram. A lot of users were using Instagram. I bet that we're not really hooked into the Facebook community that well, at least on photo sharing. A lot of people probably just used Instagram for photo sharing, and they would just do generic sharing over on Facebook. Now Facebook has that hook. They have that data. They have those photos. They have all that fun stuff that they can use to data mine and cut and market and that sort of thing. And obviously at some point you're going to see that hook with the app, probably at some point, either it hooking in with the Facebook app or hooking in with the Instagram app. So you'll be able to cross post and do all those fun and nifty things.
I had a very interesting discussion with somebody. I was at the bar on Saturday, and I took a picture. I think I was drinking like a Corona, and I took a picture of it, and I hit the geotagging button, and I put it on Facebook. And with a bartender goes, "Oh, you're using Instagram, right?" And he goes, "Oh, you know, now Facebook's going to know where you are." And I said, "Well, I already checked into Facebook, so they already know where I am and what I'm doing anyway." And he's like, well, I no longer use Facebook. I use Google Plus, which we're gonna get to. But he goes, because Google Plus doesn't know where you are. I'm like, of course they know where you are. Of course they all know. I'm like, and here's the best part of it. If you don't want Facebook to know where you are, guess what? Don't check in anywhere, and don't use it. I mean, that's how I see it. I think we're putting our information out there, and we kind of control that aspect of it, right? I mean, if Michael doesn't want us to know that he went to the gym, he doesn't need to post it on Facebook that he went to the gym.
Yeah,
you can't.
It actually happened to me. I used to use what was it called? What was the one that was before Foursquare? I used the one of the first ones, and I checked in at the gym, and then some crazy wrestling fan showed up at the gym.
Oh no!
I'm never doing that again.
What did he do? He just showed up and found. He's like, oh, I saw you checked in.
Tell him, get the fuck away from me. I'm working out. So he said, get out of here, you moron. But he said, I saw you checked in on, I forget the app. It was
Koala?
One of the very first ones, and I forget what it was. It sort of like had an Evernote type graphic to it, but it wasn't Evernote. It was something, oh God, I can't even. BrightKite. It was BrightKite.
BrightKite, yeah.
It's one of the first ones.
That's scary. Yeah, I mean, and you've been in the public eye for many, many years. I mean, especially for you.
You shouldn't have done that.
I mean, that's happened to me, but it's like people I know, so I'm okay with it to some level, and it gets a little creepy at points when I'm sitting at the bar and I'm drinking. And this happened last week, exactly. I checked in on Facebook, and somebody that I was trying to ignore showed up at the bar to talk to me because he's like, oh, I finally got a hold of you. It must be bizarre for you as a public figure. You know, you've been wrestling all across the country and the world, and you check in somewhere, and somebody shows up, and he's like, hi, I saw you post this online, and now I'm here.
You know, it's a very eye-opening experience. It could have went a lot worse than it did, and, you know, it's something that many people, even like, you know, you're talking about, say, a young teenage girl checks in somewhere, and some creepy guy decides to follow her everywhere she checks in until he gets her. I mean, there's really just a host of nightmare situations that can happen and probably have happened just from checking in. And really, I don't think anybody cares to know where I've been or what I'm doing. And I try to keep that to a minimum at times. I really, you know, the internet and social media has really given people an inflated sense of self-importance.
Sure.
that can be very dangerous.
No, it's very dangerous because,
Yes.
and also I think we ignore the fact that I don't think we would go and announce where we're going in the middle of the street. You know, we wouldn't stop and scream in Midtown Manhattan that I'm going to so and so, just letting everybody know. Because you would think, that, well, who knows who's going to follow me there? I think it's the same thing with the internet. I think we have to be very careful with what we say and what we do on the internet as far as posting where we are. But that's hysterical. Someone showed up at the gym. What did he want? He just wanted to say hello?
Who knows? I sort of squashed that situation real quick before I could even find out. But I made the mistake of doing that last week. I took a picture of the hot tub after I went to train at the wrestling school, and I took a picture of the hot tub at the gym, and Facebook already had the location. It must have switched something with the privacy settings, as they're always famous for doing. And I ended up giving the name of the gym where I was. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go.
Here we go.
All I got to say though is if you're taking a picture of the hot tub and then a whole bunch of really hot chicks walk in the door, that might not be a bad thing. So I mean,
That's a
hey,
setup.
that happens
That's
to me
too
all
good
the
to be
time.
true.
so.
No,
That's too
I
good to be
would
true.
Extra suspicious.
You're gonna get
They have to be ugly. Then I'll be okay with it. Then I will say there's nothing awry.
you're gonna get some 350-pound middle-aged guy with a DX shirt showing up.
Oh, man.
It's gonna happen.
How's it going?
Yeah.
It's been very odd.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
It's terrifying. I got an Apple rumor here. We spoke about a redesign possibly coming to the MacBook Pro line. French designer Philippe Strock. Is it Strock? I can't see the screen at this point because it froze. Was it Strock?
Stark, I think.
Stark. I can't open it because on my MacBook Pro, as I'm talking about Apple, it's frozen. Here we go. Says he is working on a revolutionary product with Apple, will be released in 8 months. He said on a radio show that Apple's working on a revolutionary new product set to unveil in 8 months. Now, this starts rumors about the mythical Apple TV. Could this possibly be an Apple TV? Will we see an Apple TV? Other people say that it could possibly be speakers or a headphone design. I highly doubt that's the revolutionary product that we're talking about. But an Apple TV, is it going to happen? I still am really... I don't know. I stand on the fence with this one. I don't know if they're going to release a Apple TV that we think of. It's not going to be this giant display with everything Apple inside of it. What do you think? I mean, Chase, do you think they're going to release this Apple TV? I think we've discussed this in the past, and you said no.
We've seen notes from Best Buy, special memos talking about an Apple television. Now we're seeing this. We also heard about Steve Jobs talking about how he didn't want to create a TV until he had the interface correct and perfect because, right now remote controls and menu systems on televisions are just terrible for users. So he really wanted to revolutionize that part of the aspect of television. My ultimate question is, I guess, is why? Obviously, now you can get a beautiful, 42-inch TV from Costco, high def, 1080p for what's $800, if not cheaper. And then people have their little set-top boxes. They have their Apple TV to plug into, which is $99. What's an Apple TV? One like this would cost what, $2,000-$3,000? I mean, granted, it may have the best interface in the world, but that's not alone going to buy it for me. Why would I buy the TV? It's going to be the same kind of panel. You're not going to make the picture any better. But
here's the thing, Chase. Let's look at the market share. As far as tablets go, yeah, people are buying it because it was the first one of its kind, and it's really the most revolutionary currently on the market. I don't think anybody's really competing with them when it comes to a tablet that works the way it's supposed to. In the laptop market, they only have 5%. I mean, in the desktop laptop market, it's a very small percentage that they hold. How are they going to compete in the TV market when most people are not going and buying the best TV that they can? They're looking at the circular and saying, look, it's on sale.
Yep.
How are they going to price point something to be competitive? The only possible way I could think of is, and I don't think it's a realistic thing, is a Retina display. That would kind of separate them from everybody else, but you are not going to be able to do that in the price point that we've heard, and I think it's $1,250 for a 42-inch. Mike, is this appealing to you, an Apple TV? Or do you think he's talking about an Apple TV?
You're talking about a whole different upgrade path too, because I'm looking at my 27-inch iMac here, and I have a MacBook Pro, and these are not cheap things, but they still have, it's technology that you can trade in, just like your iPhone and your iPad. It's supposed to kind of be for us tech enthusiasts to upgrade it every year and a half. That's usually the way it works.
Yeah.
A TV is something you mount on your wall now. It's something that becomes a furnishing in your house. And that's what I'm looking at, the Wikipedia page for Philippe Starck. And he does do a lot of interior design as far as furnishings and furniture and hotel and restaurant interiors. That would be a hint towards something like that. But like you said, it's going to have to be ultra expensive. Retina display, it can work when you're looking at your iPad. But if you're sitting 6 to 10 feet away from a TV, 1080p is still something that you don't see the differences, at least not a huge difference, between 720p and 1080p.
No, most people, and you know what though? Most people don't care.
No, they
most
don't.
people
they care
don't.
about the price, like you said. How much is it? I just saw a Samsung LED TV. I think was a 42-inch for like $499 at Best Buy. Open box, down from $699.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I honestly believe that the whole Apple TV thing is totally misunderstood. It is not a TV, it's a remote control. I think he meant a remote control to go with the Apple TV that they have currently. Because if in the book, Steve Jobs was obsessed with how awful remote controls are. There was a whole part he was going on how nobody has reinvented the wheel when it comes to the remote control. And then the conversation went into a television, and then he said they have, they have fixed it. I think something along those lines. They have cracked it. It could be a remote control that works. Maybe something in that sense. But that's a big jump for Apple to want to take. And I'm actually looking at whatever stuff that Philippe Starck has done, and it is a little Apple-ish, some of the stuff that he's worked on. It has this cutting-edge design on there.
I don't think it's a remote control, though. I mean, there's a whole different space for remote controls out there. Obviously, you got the Logitech and Harmony line. I have a Harmony One. That thing's awesome. I plug it into my computer. I tell it what I have, and it programs everything for me. I don't see it being speakers or a boombox. Didn't they try that a long time ago? Apple had that iBoombox or something like that.
Well, he has made. I believe he has created designs for actual speakers for iPods and iPhones. I know he has done that.
But you would just be going after a really small segment of the population. You look at all these devices that Apple's come out with. The iPad, the iPhone. They've all been for huge market segments. You go for speakers or a remote control or even a television. What's your market? I mean, it's going to be a very, very small market. I don't see Apple getting involved in small markets.
No, do you believe that this TV is coming out, though, Michael? Do you think there is going to be a TV at all?
I think eventually there will be, and just like we talked about, we probably said, "Oh, Apple can't make a phone; they're going to get killed. The carriers are going to kill them. They're never going to be able to have the interface they want." The iPad is a huge iPod Touch. Think about all the things people have said. They're probably going to end up proving all of us wrong. Yeah. Now, what I would say is another thing that Apple should explore. If you've ever played Real Racing 2 HD through your Apple TV and mirrored it onto that through the Apple TV, I think the Apple TV as an iOS gaming device linked to your television through your iPad or your iPhone 4S is something that can compete with the Xbox and PS3 for home gaming, especially with the affordable prices they have and free upgrades and added content and stuff like that. With these titles, that could be another revenue for Apple to really compete without even really trying to. If they update the supposed TV 2 along with that.
This
Michael, I think you just barely touched on it, and I think you got it. It's going to be the rumor. The device is going to be not a remote control. It's going to be a game controller that can sync up with your iPhone, your iPad, Apple TV. It's going to be revolutionary. It's going to be slick. It's going to be low cost, and it's going to hook into everything. It's going to be a game controller. That is something that they don't have, and they have become a gaming company of sorts. They do. Yep. The iPad has become the console of many at this point. This kind of goes into the next discussion, and then we'll do our picks of the week. But Intel is looking to adapt Retina displays
in the PC line by 2013. This is the next logical step. In my opinion, this kind of goes into the rumors that the MacBook Pro will have a Retina display. I am 100% at this point that they will. Everything's going to be Retina. Retina is just another word for high-density pixels in as far as the display goes. But they have released kind of the roadmap to how they're going to do it. Phones and media players with 5-inch displays will be 1280 by 800. This is already happening. Tablets with 10-inch displays will be 2560 by 1440. Ultrabooks with 11-inch 2560 by 1440. 13-inch Ultrabooks 2800 by 1800. 15-inch laptops 3840 by 2160. And all-in-one desktops 3840 by 2160. That is a very high-resolution display. To me, this would make me want to buy a new laptop or a display. This might be the thing that the computer market kind of needs, the desktop market kind of needs to kickstart it again, because it's kind of flatlined a little bit over the last couple of years. A lot of people aren't going and buying big displays for their desktop because a lot of people aren't buying desktop. But if I could get a Retina displayed, maybe 30-inch display or 27-inch display, I would definitely go buy this.
Oh yeah, I mean, no question. I mean, think of photography experts, think of editors, video editors, think of everything that you do in front of your computer. I mean, what we do in front of the computer with podcasting and broadcasting. Think of the clarity you'd be able to see in a picture when you're editing. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I've been nursing my Dell 24-inch monitor for the past 3 to 4 years. I'm waiting for this. This is going to happen. It's already gotten to a larger form factor, obviously on the iPad, the new iPad. We're going to see it. I can't wait. The only problem is cost, right? We don't.
Chase,
we
I
don't
gotta cut you off for a second because you're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
You want to just disconnect the video and come back?
Yeah.
And
sure.
I'll go to Michael for now. Michael, what do you think? Would this make you want to buy a PC or anything with a Retina display? Is this a selling point for you?
Well, having a Mac and be able to run Parallels or Fusion or some kind of other software, even Boot Camp for Windows, doesn't really tempt me too much. But I'll tell you this, with the Windows 8 Metro interface, and we've touched on that with Windows Phone, it would probably look beautiful. My question, though, is Apple upgrades the icons for the iPhone and the iPad to be Retina compatible. Does Microsoft already have that in the Windows 8
Windows do.
operating system?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do. They've implemented the high-density icons in Windows 8.
That's gonna look good then. That's really going to look great. I'm a big fan of Windows 8. I'm a big fan of the Metro interface. I think that's going to be a big selling point. If they bundle these kind of laptops and have that kind of display and that kind of usability, they're going to maybe get a resurgence in sales.
By the way,
keep it affordable. As long as they keep it affordable.
By the way, this just in, as we broke the story about the Apple design, Apple nixes claims that Starock is working on a revolutionary project with them. So I guess that has been abandoned. We spent 30 minutes on a story that's not a story.
Well, he sucks anyway. There you go.
Yeah, so that's but no, I definitely would want a high density display, especially for what I'm doing, because I would love to see, a lot of the like people that do Photoshop and a lot of these graphics and video editing. I mean, something like that goes a long way for someone.
How much would you pay though for a 24-inch high, Retina display?
They're gonna have to keep it, aggressive with the pricing. Currently, LED backlit monitors, when they came out, they were pretty pricey. I mean, if you took let's say the 23-inch display that was an LED backlit, you could get it for about $200. LED backlit was about $349. Yeah. So I think we're going to see that with this. It'll maybe possibly be $100 or $150 more than what the other ones would be. But in due time, the pricing is going to drop. I mean, these are very high DPI displays. I think PPI. They're saying it's going to be anywhere from 220 to 250. They're saying notebook computers target roughly 250 PPI, and all-in-one computer register around 220.
See, that premium looks good on, going back to a Mac. It looks great on an iPad, the new iPad. It looks great if you're going to get those in the MacBook Airs, MacBook Pros, and even your iMacs and your displays. But when you're talking about the Windows side, they pump those new models out so quickly that you're your brand new desktop or laptop loses value much more quickly than a Mac.
See, and this goes into something else. I think they're going to slow it down. I think these PC manufacturers are going to realize the Apple model is kind of working, where they release one thing per year, and they're going to have to slow it down. HP has already done that with their premium line, where they've kind of slowed it down to 1 or 2 releases per year, and you can't really upgrade as much as you used to. But less product, but better product is the way to do it, and with better quality, displays and trackpads and keyboards. I think that's where they're kind of headed with this. I don't know if you agree with me, Chase, or not.
No, I do. I mean, the one thing, though, you're going to see is, obviously moving into Windows 8 and moving into these higher res operating systems, if you will, is people may go back to where it's not going to be an all-in-one box solution. People might get their HP tower, and they're going to get a nice, beautiful Retina display from Sony or from another provider. And that's the best part, where those types of hardware manufacturers are going to be like, yes, now we can actually come out with our own panels, our own displays, and compete on a different level playing field, if you will, and kind of revitalize that industry. Like I said, I have a Dell. I was broken up a little bit, but I have a Dell 24-inch monitor, which I love. It's 1920 by 1200, which is hard to find anymore on a 24-inch display. I cannot wait to be able to have a more finer-tuned display. I just cannot wait for that.
I'll tell you what mine is right now. I have an HP display here that is 1280 by it is 1600 by 900.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a great
16
display.
by 9 aspect ratio. My display is actually 16 by 10 aspect ratio, 1920 by 1200, which most displays now, if you go and buy a 23 or 24-inch display, like if you go down to Best Buy, it's 1920 by 1080. And I miss those extra 120 pixels. I do.
And this one is 1680 by 1050. So this is a big display too. So all right, this is pretty cool stuff. All right, why don't we do our picks of the week? Chase has done this before. Michael, this is your first time doing your pick of the week. We pick a tech product, hardware, software, whatever it may be, and we feature it on the show as your pick of the week. You can follow Michael on Twitter at Michael Manna. Your co-host is, what is the Twitter for your co-host?
At Culmination.
At Culmination. There you go. I have it right here. And, of course, Chase at Nunez. Nunez or Noons?
It's Nunes.
Nunes.
Yes.
Okay, I was right again.
Yeah.
Patting myself on the back.
Yay.
Michael, when do you do the show? What days?
Well, we used to do Wednesdays live at 9:00 every Wednesday night, but now we just do episodic. T4 show audio podcast until we get our video stuff straightened, and we'll probably end up going to twitch.tv, and we're going to bring some unique gaming using some software. I don't want to give it away because then somebody will end up streaming right after this show.
Sure.
And I won't be able to get it going. But pretty much we have an iPhone and iPad app. You can subscribe to the podcast, go to t4show.com. Also check out, since we're talking about gaming today too, check out all the PAX East coverage we have at t4show.com. And
of
that's
course,
actually my pick of the week is a video game accessory.
Oh, you go first. What is your pick of the week?
It is the Turtle Beach XP 500s. And we had been at PAX East at the Turtle Beach booth, and we saw the XP 400s, which were very impressive. But when I went to Best Buy, I saw XP 500s, and I'm like, that's weird. The newer ones are 400, and this is a 500. And I checked the differences between that and also the PX5s, which Culm has. And these XP 500s are great. They're very comfortable. The sound's great. I have the card right here. There's 8 presets, and you can also plug it in if you have a Windows computer, and you can pretty much adjust all the levels and add firmware, do everything you need to do to upgrade the headset. But more importantly for me is I'm playing games, but I can also not only play and chat on the PS3 through Bluetooth, but I can also do it on the Xbox 360 while being paired to my iPhone 4S and taking calls and listening to game audio at the same time, and having each individual audio, higher or lower, whatever I choose. So, and it doesn't interfere. It's not weird. Also has microphone monitoring, which is very important for me with the vocal troubles that I have. So it's just an all-one package, and I got it for $240 from Best Buy. I cannot recommend any Turtle Beach headset enough if you want a game.
This is really cool, actually. Yeah, it's a great product. I know Turtle Beach makes some great stuff, and this is a phenomenal. When did this just came out, right?
Yeah, that's why I was weird about that. The XP400s have a dual band Wi-Fi, so the interference is pretty much eliminated. If you have any interference with any past headsets, that's good for that. Plus, it has a rechargeable battery in it, so you plug it into mini USB and do that. I chose these because Best Buy price matched Amazon. This was cheaper than the PX5s they were selling. And also, I'm going to have it right here. This is usually an extra cost, this Bluetooth dongle for your Xbox 360 controller, so you don't have anything tethered while you're chatting. I'm sure we've all had the wire come out of the controller as you're getting mad when you're losing a game. But, this thing's included. It's a $25 value. So I got it all one package. Even the optical cable was included, which I said, I don't have any optical cables. How am I going to plug this in? But everything is included to get you up and running and for a very affordable price, in my opinion.
Very, very cool pick. And it is the XP500 by Turtle Beach. I put a link in our chat room. I think it's $269.95, but I believe you said you found it for $249. You could search.
Best Buy price matched Amazon.com. That may vary according to your Best Buy store, but when they say, we'll price match at $240, I'm getting them right now. Very, very cool. Chase, what is your pick of the week?
All right, my pick this week is a hardware attachment for your iPhone, and it's called the Geode from iCache. You can go to iCache, that's CACHE.com, and then there's a link to their Kickstarter project. This is being basically touted as the first ever digital wallet for your iPhone 4 and 4S. So what this thing will do is this will attach and cradle to your iPhone 4 or 4S. It has a built-in thumb reader. It has a programmable credit card, if you will, and also an e-ink display on the back. So let me explain a little bit how this thing will work. You have, obviously, in your wallet today, a whole bunch of credit cards. You have your credit cards, you have your rewards, loyalty cards, like you go to the store and you scan, you get the cheaper price. You have all these different barcode type of cards on your phone. Or not on your phone, but in your wallet. So what this device will do, and it has security, layered security, it even has a built-in thumbprint reader, so no one can just take your phone and get all your information. But the way it works is you scan all of your credit cards, debit cards into this device.
Okay.
And then once you have all of your credit cards and all these things in your device, then you can leave your wallet, not necessarily your wallet, but just leave all your credit cards and plastic at home. And then you're heading out to the store, so you're heading down to Best Buy to buy some headphones, and you're ready to purchase. You pull up the app on your phone. You say, all right, I want to use my Visa card. You hit the Visa card, and what it will do is it will program the credit card that's built into this attachment on the back of the phone.
Okay.
You pull out the credit card, and you go ahead and swipe it at the register. You tell the app, how long you want this card to remain active. So you can have it active for 30 seconds. You can have it active for 2 minutes, like if you're at a restaurant and they're walking off with your card to pay. So really, this thing will go ahead, and you can see it right there on the video.
Yeah.
The thing programs your card, you hand it to the person, and then they use it. Now, if you're using, say, a loyalty card, like you've gone to Albertsons or a market like Kroger, and you have one of those barcode cards, what it will do is it will store those as well, and use that e-ink display on the back, and that will be able to be scanned on anything. Obviously, we've used some of those apps on the iPhone where it keeps all your loyalty cards together.
Sure.
And it doesn't scan the screen. This is an e-ink display, and it handles it all beautifully.
Oh, that's a very cool pick. I mean, but now do you need your phone with you, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes. But the thing is, you'll be able to put all of your loyalty cards, all of your credit cards, and right now on this Kickstarter project, which has about 8 days to go, and this thing is going to happen, you can get one of these for as cheap as $159. When these things hit retail, the retail is going to be $199. So you can get on the ground floor right now and save some cash. One of my co-hosts on Geek Gamer Weekly, we're doing the pledge $300 or more, and that brings the cost down to $150 each. This thing, and also you can become a reseller and get a pack of 50 geodes for $7,500 and start selling them on your own.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So really, this thing is pretty phenomenal, and it's, I don't like having to carry my big fat wallet. I don't carry much cash anymore, and so this attachment, this device will actually have a clip on the back as well, so you can hold your driver's license. So really, all you would need is this, and that's it. You're ready to rock.
Very, very cool pick. My pick this weekend, you know what? I get criticized all the time by our viewers. Michael doesn't know this. I think Chase knows this, though, that I have the worst picks of the week. And I'm the one who came up with the segment, but I just do awful picks of the week. And I really try. I try to do some decent ones. I don't know what it is. This week, I think my pick will make everybody happy. I have Windows 8 installed on a computer right across from me. It's not a super fast computer. It's a dual core. I believe it's a Gateway, and it's my testing machine. But I've been wondering, what is the experience like on a tablet? Now, I don't have a Windows tablet. I have an iPad. Actually, this is an iPad 3. And just the other day, there was an application that was released called Splashtop Win 8. The application is $24. It's a little pricey, but it's well worth it. What it does, if you have a Windows 8 computer or laptop on your network, you could remote in and use your tablet, your iPad, with Windows 8. So right now what I'm doing, I'm logging in. I don't know if you guys could see it. It's a little overexposed, so let me try to go here. Oh, that's the wrong camera. There you go. So
you got to use that reflection, Andrew.
I know. I'm trying to come up with the I think this will work now because it's going to kick in. So it's connecting to the computer as we speak right now. I can see the screen turn on the computer, and guess what? Now I have Windows 8 running on my iPad. It runs really, really smoothly also. I mean, I'm really surprised how smooth it is. It has hiccups every now and then, but you also have access to the desktop UI. Let me just go into desktop mode now. So now, look, I'm on my desktop. It just remotes in. This reflection is bad. It's bothering me. I don't know why. See, I did an awful job again with my pick of the week. So everything is reflecting, so that's not going to work. So if you want to see it, you could go to their website or the iOS App Store. You could go to just look up Splashtop Win 8. But it's a great way to get the Windows 8 experience on a tablet and not, dish out the money to get Windows 8. I thought it was a pretty good pick. I don't know if you've tried this, Chase, but
no, I got my iPad right here, and I'm gonna download it and install it. That seems like a great way to experience Windows 8, as I think Microsoft really wants us to experience it on a tablet touch type of an interface.
I'll tell you, the experience is totally different on a tablet than on Windows on the desktop. And it works pretty good, and you have the option to either use your iOS, your iPad keyboard, or the Windows keyboard.
Oh, nice.
So it gives you the option to do that, which I really like. You have full access to everything. I mean, you could reset, shut down everything that you could with Windows. You could do it on the tablet, and as you're doing it, you could actually see it happen, in real time on the computer across from you or wherever in the house.
Yeah, I like
that. It's a great device. It's a great app. I'm really surprised how well it works. And it's called Splashtop Win 8. Just look it up in the App Store. Now, one thing, you do have to install the streamer on the desktop, so it's not just like you install and that's it. It has to be on the same network. But it's a pretty cool thing. It remotes in and it works pretty well, and it's $24. So why not give it a shot? And that's my pick. I know, Michael, you said you like Windows 8, so it might be a cool experience for you.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at it. I said this is an operating system that could bring Microsoft, if you've really integrated well with Windows Phone, which they haven't done as much as they should yet. It could really bring people into the ecosystem altogether.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, it does not take advantage of the Retina display, unfortunately. So it doesn't look amazing. I know it could look a lot better. I thought it would look a lot sharper, but for whatever reason, it's not utilizing the display for all it's worth. I don't know why it's not. It should by natively, right? Chase, I think you would know.
It would. It should. It's just a matter of, well, you said they're using some sort of catching, you're streaming it from the laptop and you have to install something over there. So it's got to be something with that. Has to be.
Yeah, so that's my pick of the week. I want to thank you guys for coming on. Chase, as always, you can check Chase out at geekgamer.tv every Sunday for a show in Minecraft Me, which is a big hit, apparently.
Yes, that's right. And we actually have a very special Minecraft Me tonight, live tonight, probably around 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be going live to do that show. And then Geek Gamer Weekly is on Sunday nights around 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific time. I do want to throw this out there. We're in a couple of weeks. Geek Gamer Weekly is going to be eclipsing episode number 200. We're very, very excited to be doing it for so long and such great people we've had on the show throughout the years. And so if anybody out there would love to create a cool little, hey, congrats video, feel free to send it to me. My email address, chase@geekgamer.tv, and we'll include it in our huge celebration. We hope to get a whole bunch of different podcasters and general people out there to give us well wishes. We're really excited about it, so I wanted to throw that out to all your viewers as well.
Definitely. And I'll be making one, too, and maybe I'll talk to you. Maybe we could do something for that
Yeah, I
show.
think that'd be awesome if we could do something combined with GFQ.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have been great, and we're really excited. I mean, just a couple weeks away and 200. It's
a big accomplishment. It's a big accomplishment. And, Michael, thank you so much for coming on. Your first time. Hopefully it won't be your last. I had a lot of fun having you on. You can check out Michael at t4show.com. Also, check out their videos from PAX. I believe they're on YouTube and on your website at t4show.com. The app, I guess, iPhone app. You can follow Michael at Michael Manna on Twitter. And everything else, just, I guess, go to your website, t4show.com, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we're dedicating the entire site is all video games for the rest of the week, all PAX East stuff. Some really cool stuff, and people were very receptive to us. And it was my first full conference of any type like that with technology, and I had a great time.
Excellent.
Oh,
yes.
One last thing.
Yes.
Keep an eye on Michael's Twitter and my Twitter, because Michael and I are huge video game sports fans, and we got MLB 12 the show, and we're going to be doing a little bit of East Coast, West Coast baseball gameplays coming up soon. So keep an eye on our Twitters.
Very
That's
cool.
going to be a lot of fun.
And
Yes.
that wraps it up for today. You can go to our website, guysfromqueens.com or gfqnetwork.com, and watch any of our shows if you missed us. Remember to subscribe to us. We're on iTunes, Zune, every other platform, but definitely subscribe. It helps us out, audio and video. And we'll see you all next week on Tech News Weekly. Good night, everybody.